New Garnier Men Acno Fight Gentle Cleanser. ये है gentle on skin, tough on pimples.
A World Cup classic, a game for the ages. Well done India, well done England. 499 runs, which included 34 sixes. The Wankhede crowd was entertained and some. It was wondrous to behold, and eventually the difference was just over one hit. India prevailed by just 7. India go to the final of the ICC Men's T20 World Cup. A fourth final for them, a second on the trot, and the unprecedented story of this tournament of successfully defending a T20 World Cup, of winning a World Cup at home, is alive for Surya Yadav's side. Bethell was brilliant, Samson was scintillating, but on ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by Garnier Men, in the company of the great Anill Kumble and Faf du Plessis, is it fair, gentlemen, that on a day where a record number of runs were scored and sixes were hit, we start with a bowler as the difference?
Yes, it was. Just with Bumrah's effort, those 4 overs for 8.25 on a day where it was really raining sixes, and Hardik Pandya's 2 for 38 in his 4 overs. I think these two sort of sealed the deal for India. The catching, of course, again sealed the deal for India. That was the difference, nothing else. It was just some sheer brilliance of executing Yorkers and catching. Those two were the difference.
What a thing for a captain, Faf, to have Jasprit Bumrah.
Team India do not understand how lucky they are to have him in their ranks, because it is just proven time and time and time again, regardless of the format, by the way. It's not just T20. You just give him the ball and he wins you the game. So it's a superpower that any captain will dream of. It's like having a genie and you're just rubbing the lamp and up comes Bumrah.
Yeah, I mean, we've used multiple terms for him. Cheat code, ace, trump card. We thought India had 2 aces because Varun Chakravarti had that kind of form going into the World Cup. But on a day where Varun's been taken down tremendously, I'd like to think at some point even a great bowler will look around and say, oh God, no, this is how much it's coming on to me. The same thing with a batter, right? Oh, it's all down to me. But Bumrah, and you look at his face, when you look at how rarely he misses, you know, even as a batter you think you'll get one ball that he might miss, but those overs, the 16th and the 18th, 8 runs and 6 runs. That over goes for 13, 14 each. Maybe England get over the line in a stunning way. He just doesn't miss. Why? How? How's it possible?
I mean, it takes obviously the practice, but it's beyond that. It's to do with the action as well. And I've tried to explain it in terms of facing it. That last 2 overs, they know that it's going to be full Yorker or slow ball. That's generally what you're getting. And he bowled 2 low full tosses there in the over. And both of those balls, Sam Curran was late on the ball. Any other bowler missing in length like that goes for 6. Dube bowled that the last over, he gets pumped for 6. So his action is so unique that you struggle to pick up how quickly the ball comes out of his wrist. So it's skill, but it's also to do with the mystery of his action, almost like what Malinga did back in the day, the point of difference. It really makes him so hard to line up in terms of if he misses.
I mean, the fact that it's still a mystery after what, 10 years of Bumrah and a lot of guys playing him. Sam Curran's played him loads in the IPL and whatnot. And if you miss, you're supposed to go at this ground. Even if you don't miss, sometimes you go at this ground. And it's tremendous. What words would you use today to just define this?
His sheer grit to come back. I mean, your first 2 overs he went for 20 runs, 20 or 21. He had picked up a wicket. But then to come back the way he did in those 2 overs, where India was certainly, with Jacob Bethell, the batting the way he was, it was certainly tough for India because they had to make up that 1 over. And if Bumrah had gone for, like you said, another 5, 7 runs, game was over. So when you know that it is you, that you have to do the job, and every time you're asked to do it, and you consistently perform, that is the toughest part. Yes, he has the skill. It's tough to pick it up, but the mind, the mental sort of fortitude, and also the sort of bringing your best in difficult situations, saying, okay, I'm going to do the job, putting your hand up. Those are challenges that not many overcome, and Bumrah has done that time and time again.
We spoke about it also earlier in the competition about the real gold and value that he has at the back end. He's got value all over the innings when he bowl, but the real superpower is the back end when the game is on the line. And I thought today they used him perfectly. Good captaincy, good leadership. When the game was needing the overs to get him into the mix and bring the run rate down and try and get a wicket, they used him in the perfect overs. It's easy on the side sitting because you got no pressure, and I was like spot on captaincy.
Yeah, I think it's an underappreciated fact because you've chosen to use your main resource overs 16 and 18 and not sort of your traditional plan might be penultimate over. But the
17
way
and 19,
Bethell was going, that is, Bumrah's now got the wicket, but he's essentially, that's the over. If you try and get out of Axar Patel with an over or Dube earlier, and that goes for 20, Bumrah comes in bowling at a perhaps different state, or maybe Bumrah still execute, but the batter then feels a lot better about it. So that use of Bumrah was as important.
Perfect, because what it does, it just adds, because you look at the scoreboard and you try and measure what are you trying to get, what do you want to leave for the last over, and they would have said, they would have an idea that Team India will bowl their 5th bowler on the day, they will keep him for last, because you bowl your best overs earlier to try and kill the game. So they would have worked out what do we need to get to the last over, call it 18 or 20 runs in the last over. Before that, we just have to get through Bumrah. And even in that, he went there, what did the over go for? Ridiculous. 6 runs in the over, nailing Yorker after Yorker. It's just incredible.
Was there a bit of tail as well, which only made it that much harder?
Yeah, I mean, we saw Arshdeep getting that to the left-hander. I mean, there were 47 runs required of 4 overs, and Bumrah gives you only 6. And then you know that you have to take down somebody else, and then Hardik comes in and then backs it up with a wicket.
Absolutely.
And that was a superb, run out and then backs it up. That's what you need. And then the last over, in a situation like that, like Faf mentioned, Surya, excellent choice of, bowlers coming in at that place, because you tend to sort of drag it to the end and then hope that you'll have about 28, 30 runs in the end, so that your bowler, either it was Axar Patel or a Shivam Dube, can defend it.
He bowled so well at the end that even 2 set batters, or even Bethell, who was spectacular, and we'll come to Bethell in a moment, but he had an impact first ball of his spell, because England had gone hard at India no matter what was happening, wickets and whatnot. But to get Harry Brook with a first ball of his spell as that peach of a slower ball that has troubled him, that troubled, I think it was Rickleton in Ahmedabad, choice of ball.
Yeah, I mean, once again, just the skill sets that he has. So he can deceive you with so many weapons, and that's what makes him an unbelievable bowler.
Intelligent as well. We keep speaking of it, the bowling IQ. Rarely, I think you need to go to him as a captain and say, so I think you should be bowling this ball. I think this is what you should be bowling to him.
Yeah, he doesn't need anyone telling him what to do. He knows what to do.
No, one is, of course, the intelligence. The other is the execution. In a situation like that, first ball to run in and bowl that slower ball. Yes, you think that I need to bowl a slower ball because pace off. Harry Brook, literally likes to sort of step out and then come at the bowler, use the pace, and then, okay, you've thought about all that as a bowler, but then to land it at the place, first ball of your spell, is not easy.
And it took a great catch.
Yeah.
And there were 2 great catches from Axar Patel, equally important, you'd think, because Will Jacks is just as dangerous, and the catch of Brook itself. India's fielding at times has left us wanting for more, but Axar's 2 catches, gold on the night again.
Outstanding, especially in a semi-final. And when I know India was defending 253, those are times where you feel that, okay, maybe I can relax a little bit, but not tonight. And those 2 catches and the run out was something that India needed at that stage.
13 catches they dropped in the Super 8s. The catching efficiency was poorer than any other team for India. So in the tournament, beg your pardon, and it didn't get sort of any better. So you've got one of the world's best catchers ever, but those 2 that he's taken, the one for Brook running back, and the relay catch, which unfortunately he still gets no credit for on the scorecard.
Yeah, so that first catch is really hard because the ball's always going away from you. So what you're trying to do as a fielder, what we practice, is you're trying to get your feet as quickly as to where the ball's going to land, because what you're trying to do is you run so that you can have a still there to then catch the ball. But you could see he was always moving away from him. So great catch. And the second one for me is this, what's on the line, because those 2 batters, That's the game right there. The way they were going ahead of the tempo. Yes, the Sam Curran one was a really good partnership, but Jax has been the danger man, and the partnership there was the partnership. And that was an unbelievable catch under pressure, and the margins between taking your catch and winning the game, and on the other side, dropping a catch and someone gets 87 and you lose the game.
Is it fair to say that that relay catch is actually even harder? Because I know teams practice it a lot, but they tend to practice it more straight, don't they? Long on, long off. You're square over here, and you rarely have two fielders square over there. So your body is sort of at a different angle. He almost had to, I don't think he thought about the relay initially. He thought he's going to complete the catch. It's one of those where you're going side on. So it's not as easy.
No, it's a very difficult catch. But I think the tricky part there, what you don't want in that situation is you want two guys colliding.
Yeah.
So the fact that, I mean, Dube didn't have to do much, but the presence of mind, just that meter or so before you get to your partner, is to back off, because what you see when you're going for the catch is you want to have full line of the ball coming into your hands. If you're running and right at the last minute, you have a Dube stepping into your space with his hands there, that distracts your eye. So the best thing to do in that scenario is he's coming for the catch, leave him alone, but be ready. And he took a beautiful relay catch.
I've said this in a few shows before. They've got to credit both fielders for those catches. It's only caught Dube, bowled Arshdeep now for Will Jacks. At some point that's got to change. But anyway, Hardik Pandya is over. After Bumrah has done his thing, I'll come to Arshdeep as well in a moment. But 215 for 5 after Bumrah's bowled that unbelievable over. India were 217 for 5. And the next two overs went for 20 by Archer and then 16 by Jacks. So the 20-run over is a high possibility even in the 19th. And Hardik Pandya has managed to not only get the wicket of Sam Curran, being hit for 6 first ball, but he's gone for just 9. Just an important over. Just as
very, very important over, because it's not just about one guy doing the job. When you know that in a game like this, like you said, 20-run over is something that can happen in the Wankhede, especially if a set batter is there. To come back and then back up that particular over, I know first ball went for a 6 and then he got a wicket, and then to finish the next 4 balls, just giving 2 runs or 3 runs was an outstanding effort. So those 2 overs in unison certainly pushed the England batters slightly away from the target. Not easy when you know that you have to chase 30. It could have been 22. Then even the batters in the dugout would have felt, okay, even if I get a chance here, I can hit it. But when Jofra Archer walked in, I mean, the game was over.
Correct.
Just in general there, and that's why we like, I mean, even myself as an outside fan, like Hardik Pandya as a cricketer, because when you look to big matches, you look to who are the guys in my team that I want to bank on when there's pressure. And the fact that you look at him when the game's on the line, almost always he's there and thereabouts. So you look, bowling, excellent. Batting, composure, finishes the game. Who's fielding at long on where the ball goes the most? Hardik. So he's shouting to the opposition and to his captain, I want to be in the game. Give me the ball, whether it's with the bat or with the ball or in the field. And that's what you're looking for in your team. You're looking for those guys who their eyes are connected to and they tell you, I'm ready, skipper.
I wonder if that's an understated point of difference in big pressure games like this. There is a psychology involved. As batters, you're talking, saying, we will get 20. So you know that you're going to get 20 even if Hardik Pandya is over. Hardik Pandya perhaps also knows that they're lining me up. They don't mind not playing laps and ramps or trying to force it against Bumrah because they feel they will get 20 off me. And Hardik Pandya's primary skill set remains a batter. So this is his secondary skill set. And yet somehow from the last World Cup final to this one, let's not even forget the overs he bowled in the power play, which were excellent. But even in that sort of close stage, there's something about Pandya up there which compensates for whatever he might be missing in terms of skill, fair to say?
Yeah, it's just big match temperament, and that for me is worth as much as a skill. It's a character trait that you're looking for. Even when you're picking players, you sometimes pick character before talent and skill because you see it, and then you know this guy is made for the big stage. So when you're talking about guys who get picked, Bethell would be an example, getting picked earlier in his career. Yes, he's got talent, but it's like, how does this guy stand up to big moments? And some coaches picked it up early. They might not always be the most talented, but they go, this guy's got grit. He's got BMT, he's got kahunas, whatever you call it, but he's got it.
Is it also fair to say that his own bowling has levelled up Hardik Pandya.
Yeah, in terms of skill, I mean, we saw that against Butler with the new ball. He was taking the ball away, he was bringing the ball back in, he hits the deck, he is bowling at good pace. So yes, he certainly has, taken his bowling to a notch. And once again, when you said, the temperament that he showed, when both the batters, when they faced Bumrah, they were saying, okay, only if it's there, we are going to go for it. Otherwise, we know that it's only going to be Yorker. Let's not give him a wicket. Doesn't matter, 6, 7 runs, whatever runs come, we'll target the next over.
Yes.
When that's the message that comes across, and then you come for that over, to bowl that over, and then do what he did was outstanding. I mean, that shows you that he has the temperament, of course, the skill, and even that last ball that he bowled, just
to overturn the white Yorker.
Not easy.
That's a very important ball too, because if that ball somehow goes for 6, and Overton's capable of taking a length ball or a back of length ball down. So he's thought that, and he doesn't bowl a lot of Yorkers anymore, doesn't he, Anill? I think he's also worried about, not worried, but he's mindful of the amount of full balls he bowls. He tends to bowl that back of length.
No, but I'm sure he puts in a lot of practice to get that accurately in a match, because he knows that for India, especially in this squad, he bowls the 19th, 20th over. He sometimes bowls the death. More often than not, we have seen him do that. So in a situation like that, I'm sure he would have practiced that. But what he's developed as a skill is the ball to swing, especially with the new ball, and that to me was also the difference, because when you have a Hardik Pandya with the new ball and the opposition has allowed him to bowl 2 overs, otherwise Bumrah may have had to bowl slightly earlier, and then you end up bowling a Shivam Dube or your 6th bowler much earlier. You will have to bring him on. So Hardik, those 4 overs, because you expect Arshdeep to bowl really well. Arshdeep swings the ball, you expect him to bowl. Then you think that, okay, it's going to be Bumrah, but then suddenly Hardik comes and gives you those couple of overs with the new ball. That to me has been the difference.
Let's go to number 3 on the bowling performance. And I like that we're discussing bowlers here, because you just feel like that's big here. Even Arshdeep Singh. Now his overall figures might say 50, but apply the context of the game, and that 14th over where he's gone for 12 and got the wicket of Jacks. A lot of those runs have also come through a lot of wides, where he was trying to bowl a 2-way plan, and he conceded a fair number of those. In the 17th over, he's gone for 16. That's the last 2 balls that have gone for 6 and 4. So there is a story to Arshdeep also ensuring that he contributed to the eventual result, isn't there?
100%. So once again, you walk into the dressing room there, and the scorecard is not obvious, but the coach in the team or the captain in the team will definitely mention the value of Arshdeep's over there. And the way I thought he actually bowled really well tonight. He was a little bit unlucky, but in terms of just sticking to a plan, backing my wide Yorker, even though I'm going to bowl a few wides, the plan is the right plan. I just missed an execution, and then I'm going to come back to my straight Yorker where there's a little bit of tail with the odd slower ball that was wide. His tactics was clear, but he remained consistent in it. And that over was as good as any of the overs that we're talking about now.
You worked a lot with Arshdeep Singh. There is a commitment to a plan here. He may not get the heaps of wickets, may even go for runs, but there's something to appreciate about a bowler who doesn't shift or drift away from a plan.
Yes, what he does at practice is exactly what he does at the match. He runs in hard, he practices those skills. He knows that he needs to bowl with the old ball, so he picks up an old ball and then bowls Yorkers. He picks up a wet ball and bowls Yorkers, and that's the kind of practice and effort that he puts in. I'm sure, with the experience now that he has of playing so many matches for India and being the highest wicket taker, that confidence as well, saying, I'm the man that we need, the captain's looking at. So he's been doing that, and now if you see the left arm ball going away to the right-hander is something that he has developed exceptionally well. Swings the ball with the new ball, and we saw towards the end it was tailing in. I think he was the only one who was sort of bringing it late.
Yes.
Even Bumrah was not. I mean, Bumrah was accurate with his Yorkers, but someone like Arshdeep was bringing the ball back into the left-hander.
Game of fine margins. So even Axar Patel, I'll finish the Indian bowling chat. It's 3 overs for 35. You take that, wouldn't you? If he goes for 25, say, or if he goes for 19 like Liam Dawson did, suddenly captain doesn't have the confidence to throw the ball back to you, or Dawson or the bowler himself doesn't want to take the ball. but 3 overs to 35 is also not a
Yeah,
job.
and that's why we were shouting, where's Axar when he wasn't in the team? You know, because he brings you that
Yeah.
composure, that experience. Left-handers, right-handers, underarm hitters, whatever. He's consistent, always. He hardly has a bad game, Axar. So, yeah, that's why everyone was, this is obvious as daylight for us. You have to get Axar onto this team, in your strongest team. And he's also one of those players. How many times has he stood up for India when it's been tough?
Yeah. I mean, Banton's hit him for 2 sixes. Then the third ball's the wicket. That's perhaps the, as a bowler, how much pressure that third ball is.
And he bowled it slow.
Because
he
you
bowled
know
it slow, yeah.
you will get hit for sixes
Yeah.
in a match like that. So it's actually relevant, the sixes. It's just staying in the contest.
Yeah.
Because your job is to just make sure if he hits me for 2 sixes, I just need to get him out once, then he's done.
Yeah.
On a game like this, there's plenty of sixes. So as a bowler, you're just trying to keep using your weapons, keep using your strength. And he's got so many different things that he can rely to. He's got that wide arm of the crease that comes into your hip. Then he bowls the wide one. So, I mean, he's a very, very good left arm spinner.
Well, there is the thing of, I will be getting hit for sixes. And then there's a night like Varun Chakravarti has. But I won't really focus on Chakravarti's off day. Why don't I flip it around now and bring in Jacob Bethell? That's as good an innings as anyone can ever play in their life.
It's as
In
good
a
as
losing
it's as
side.
good as the innings we saw last night from
Yeah.
Finn Allen. It's as good as the
Yeah.
innings we saw from Samson against West Indies. To chase, the hardest thing about that tonight was the scoreboard pressure of 250.
Yeah.
Because you are always under the pump and behind the 8 ball. No matter what you're doing, you are still under pressure the next ball. So to keep doing that for so long against that pressure takes a huge amount of character, and that was an unbelievable cricket knock.
You've also walked in at the 5th over after having lost first Phil Salt and then your captain Harry Brook, one of the form batters of the tournament.
Yeah, it was
That's
outstanding. It was an outstanding
Outstanding.
innings. I mean, I said if England had to win this, then somebody had to play something similar, like yesterday. But to do that consistently, getting 13 runs, 13 and a half, 14, you keep up with the run rate is never easy. And what was really good was he targeted Varun Chakravarti.
Absolutely,
And
let's
then
go
took
into
him
that.
down. He said, okay, this is the bowler that I'm going to target, irrespective of what he bowls, I'm going to go after him. And to have that kind of confidence and then to do it consistently in those 4 overs of Varun was really outstanding.
First 3 balls, 3 sixes, and you
Yeah.
can see the numbers on screen. 41 of 13, Bethell versus Chakravarti. I don't think Varun's ever had that from anyone, and he's actually got a good record against left-handers. So it's the targeting
Yeah.
of him, the choice of shots.
So what you can see was evident tonight is it was actually whoever it was going to be, the talk is just Bumrah has got 4 overs and someone is going to have to go the distance on the night, whoever that is on the night, and that was his matchup. And then you go, right now I can try and maximize, because the way that England batting lineup also played that last 10 overs, you could see as soon as Bumrah came back, there was a drop in intensity of trying to hit every ball for 6. And then as soon as the next bowler came on from the other side, it was right, I'm trying to hit 6 sixes again.
It's a funny one with England. They've played a spectacular game. They are now out of the tournament. They've had 1 brilliant 100 by Bethell, 1 brilliant 100 by Brook. Salt, Butler, 2 of their biggest guns perhaps not firing. But if we have to just give a sort of verdict on England, dangerous team.
Yeah, actually played their best game today.
Today,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. So the perfect game didn't come
Yeah.
previously, and they won all of those.
As a
But
team,
for-
they were really good tonight, bar a drop catch that cost them. But today was, I think, their
Yeah.
most complete game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked like they were really going after that, because other games, I mean, even against West Indies, they were not there. Against Nepal, they should have lost the first game. So yeah, it was pretty scratchy. Against Pakistan, it was only Brook. Otherwise, it was nothing.
Yes.
So this game, you could sense that they've come in.
And they would feel, actually, I think they would feel really proud about that performance.
Yeah.
You want to go to the World Cup final, but it's also to show the fight, to show that you're right there till the end, to go pound for pound against the best team in the world, the best bowling attack in the world, and they kept going and kept going. So yes, you're extremely disappointed, but you pushed the team all the way right till the end.
Bethell, serious player, isn't he?
Yeah.
One for the next decade, perhaps, to watch out. If he lives up to the promise of his potential, his test career's taken a surge with his performance in a
Yes,
disappointing
absolutely.
Good
Ashes.
signing by RCB. Yeah.
What's that? Sorry?
Absolutely.
Good signing by RCB.
Yeah, they'll be happy that one of them is in great form. Salt is struggling a bit, but at least another Englishman is in great form.
I mean, this is a serious player, Jacob Bethell. Well done to him. And like I said, you can't play any better than that and yet be on the losing side. Harry Brook, quickly on his quotes before I move to more. We have a lot more, don't worry. Says, we thought there might have been some hold or spin in the first innings, but it slid onto the bat nicely. India batted well. I'll hold my hands up and admit I made a big mistake dropping Samson. We weren't good enough in the field. We mis-executed and can't afford to do that against India. Bethell was absolutely unbelievable. He'll earn some serious money. To see him taking it from ball one showed the world what he can do. We had a good tournament. We should be extremely proud of how we played. We stuck to it the whole game. Unfortunately, we were on the wrong side. Fair enough from the England captain?
Yeah, we
Yep.
covered most of that.
Yeah.
All right. Therefore, let's go back to the first innings now. Because Nasser Hussain, I think, said it on commentary that England did a really good job in that innings. Equations were similar. Over by over comparison was similar, even though England might have lost a few more wickets. But India had Bumrah and England did not. So now when you go back and you look at, dare I say, 253, just above par today.
So
That's
that
scary.
220 that you talked about
Scary.
earlier that you said we got chased. It's
Yeah.
actually a under par score.
There you go, you left a few in the tank. It's the reverse of the epic Joburg ODI, right?
Yeah.
We got
yeah.
430 and Jack Cullis says, oh,
But
they've
great,
left a
we
few
called
behind.
for it, didn't we? We said we want a great Wankiri pitch, we want to run fast,
Yeah.
we wanted it, so it's a great semi-final.
Where I will go to is the appreciation for India's complete batting effort. At no point was there even a 3 or 4 over slump. I think there was something that we can call a slump where they might have got 26 of 16, which seems like a slump in the context of the whole game. But Samson will come to right till the end. If India finish with 2 overs of 20 at the end instead of 2 overs of 40 or 38 or whatever it was, could be a difference. So India made sure they got the above par score.
Yes, it was very important, especially when you bat first and you have a
And they did
excellent start. I thought India was perfect with their batting effort, and it was not like one batter you sort of relied on. Everyone came in and contributed. The partnerships were good. It never looked like England were coming back into the game, so they never let England come into that in the first innings at all.
Yeah.
So it was mostly the batters taking control and right till the end.
Yeah, Samson. Now let's spend a little more appreciation on Samson. It's a remarkable story. Someone who hasn't even played a bulk of this World Cup. We spoke of the impact of coming in as a solution for Samson and how that might have helped the mindset. But game like this, now the drop, I don't know, if maybe you just feel like life owes me an opportunity or two or a bit of
But
luck.
the crazy thing about cricket, and we've seen enough cricket to understand that when someone is going well
Yeah.
and is in
Invariably.
form, things like that tend to happen.
Yeah.
Versus on the flip side, if you're the guy that's lacking form, lacking runs, people are taking one-handed blinders, you are getting caught down leg.
Yeah.
So poor Abhishek, where's his drop chances?
The luck factor in T20 cricket is quite underrated.
Yes.
I'll put it there.
Yeah.
But Samson, Anill, coming of age, Sanju Samson, to build innings like this, to not just play a loose shot after he's got India to a nice punchy start.
No, it's been wonderful. It's a great story. I mean, we all knew the sort of talent when he first walked in 10, 11 years ago. And to see him grow into this in a leadership role for Rajasthan obviously must have helped him understand his game and understand situations better. And if you look at the lead up to this World Cup too, if you look at a year ago, Jitesh Sharma was there as the wicket keeper,
Oh, yeah.
finisher role as a backup. Then there's Rishabh Pant, who's not in this T20 format for a while. So to overtake all of them and then come in, get in an opportunity where he initially started opening, did well, was pushed to the middle order, then suddenly he was dropped, again brought in back.
I mean, the Kishan almost cutting him in the queue last minute couldn't have
Yeah.
been more demoralizing,
Yeah.
I'd think, for Samson.
And he was a part of the last World Cup,
Yeah.
the winning World Cup, never got an opportunity. He was waiting for his opportunity there. So from
That's the thing is when you wait so long,
Yeah.
right, and then
Yeah.
people just go,
yeah.
I mean, that could be, it's perhaps an even greater testament to just getting himself in the space for performance.
100%, and you can once again you can look at the nature of him and you can go, it's not a guy that is grudges towards what is coming to him.
Yeah,
It's
not
a very
bitter.
not bitter, just a very I'm just going to keep looking forward. Whatever's happened has happened, because he can have every right to be better, because when you wait so long in terms of the selection process, you know, especially in India, I think it's even challenging because you've got so many great players. So like when someone has to wait for so long and finally your Rohit Sharma steps down and you go, yes, it's my turn, I've waited for so long, and then 2 or 3 guys jumps ahead of you, and then you're back at the queue again and your next opportunity is at 5. And
Yeah.
do you understand? It's a tough gig, that.
Yeah, 200 runs I think in his last 2 games now, and that's more than runs that he's got in 12 innings before that. So there's all that on Samson. In some ways, I'm sure there is a huge fan following Samson enjoys who says, oh well, here's your lesson, India, you know, you should have backed him, you should have backed him. But you see the flip side of it being relevant as well, that there is a fire in your belly that struck because of all this disappointment that might have eventually led to the steel and resolve that Samson brings.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at the kind of players, I mean, Faf just mentioned, the kind of players who are sitting out,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll walk into any other
Yeah,
international
100%.
side. So it's not just the international Indian players, even the domestic Indian players can walk into a few international teams. So that's the kind of sort of talent and the competition that's out there. So you just need to, when you get that opportunity, you need to make it count, and that's exactly what he's done.
He overcame a big matchup, and we touched upon it on the mid-show, but to now look at it in the overall picture of things, his takedown of Jofra Archer, including in the middle phase when he just smashed Archer, that was a bit of a, shall I say, a matchup, an unfavourable matchup for Samson, which he perhaps knew, and sometimes that can make you play odd shots, poor shots. He seemed to take him down easily today.
Yeah, he was brilliant, and then the way that he attacked him was obvious. There was a game plan, but I expected a bit more firepower from Archer up at the head. And you know, if that's a strategy that you've got a few wickets with before, you have to give it more chance than just one ball. It's just not, the odds are not great. So you're saying if someone's nicking off outside of stump, you're going to try and nick him off a few times. You're not going to just try it once. But it shows you, and it's good lessons for young batters also out there, is when you counter something that's a weakness of yours, how easy sometimes the opposition can go away from what is your weakness. 1-6 and they almost forget about your weakness and they just go back into bowling normally. So good lessons for everyone out there. If you could counter punch someone in your weakness, they go away.
Sticking on Archer for a bit, we mentioned this on the mid-show on how perhaps England were just rattled and shell-shocked. The drop catch was clearly playing on Harry Brooks' mind. It was a big one, and they went away from plans. I think Michael Atherton brought up how Archer's slow balls have just not worked, and he bowled a fair chunk of those slow balls. Bumrah has shown the value of the good old Yorker. And it's fair to say towards the end, you and me counted, what, 2 Yorkers that Archer bowled? One was a wicket of Tilak, the other was one he squeezed for 6. But Archer guilty perhaps of a few errors on a night like this?
Yeah, I mean, you expect your big boys to stand up. I mean, that's exactly what Bumrah does. You expect from an England perspective, the 2 big guns, Adil Rashid and Jofra Archer, would sort of lead the way on a tough pitch. Unfortunately for them, it didn't happen. Adil Rashid did bowl well, but I thought the Indian batters certainly countered these fast bowlers and the spinners really, really well. I mean, Dawson never bowled, just that 1 over. We spoke about Liam Dawson having had a decent World Cup, a very good World Cup in Sri Lanka, and of course before that. With Dube coming in, he never bowled.
Let's go into that as well. It feels like it's a day where a coach, or if you're Gautam Gambhir or if you're Sky in the dugout, you feel like every little tactical card we played paid off. Dube walking in ahead of the captain, the impact it had on Adil Rashid as well. Otherwise, even if Rashid gives you the Bumrah-esque returns, which he's still done all right, 2 for 41 suddenly seems fine, 10.25. But that could easily have been 8s or 9s or even better.
Yeah.
But Dube's innings, Anill 43 of 25, again an under the radar sort of player, but he plays his part.
He plays his part. I mean, this was an ideal scenario for him. He knows the pitch. It's his home pitch, and you know, it's a good surface. 2 spinners bowling, or you know that if they have to go away from that, they'll have to bring back Archer, which again plays into your hands. And he's not been bowling at his best. I mean, Sanju Samson has taken him down. So you have all the sort of things working in your favour and Dube comes in. So that was, I think, the right thing.
He's got a tag for being the spin hitter, isn't
Yes.
he? He takes spinners down, really difficult to bowl to because of his reach. But the thing is, if you take the rest of the batting lineup, it's not like they can't whack spin. Hardik
Yeah.
is just as good. So India is so lucky that they have guys that they can just go, you know what, you're a free hit. Go and
Yeah.
do your thing. The seamers are done. They're going to bowl spinners for the next few hours. Go take them down.
On that though, Rashid actually has good records against a lot of these otherwise spin dominant Indian batters. And therefore, if you look at his breakdown, it was 22 of 8 Dube versus Rashid. And the rest of it, in his next other 16 balls, he's got 2 for 19. I think he actually has a good record against Surya, against Hardik Pandya as well. So
a good tactical
once
play.
again, Dube's tactical card was a really solid one. There were other important cameos too. Tilak Verma 21 of 7, and now we can clearly see Tilak Verma's warming up to
The finisher.
Rinku's role,
Yeah.
which was the effect of the change India made with Samson at the top and Tilak down. And like you mentioned before, it's harder to go
Yeah.
lower down.
No, great batting. And what I like is well, we've almost, I remember in the beginning shows, we were talking about what can Tilak do in the middle? You know, it was like, why isn't Sanju the guy that goes up? And it was like, you know, he can bat at the middle, but they like him at the top because he scored the 200s. And it's the roles have just gone reverse, but it's a better balance with the left and right.
Tilak Verma 21 of 7. Hardik Pandya in the last over as well. Will Jacks was an interesting call. It's come down to a game of fine margins. We can perhaps discount a few of those sixes in the last over of Dube, but Hardik Pandya 27 of 12. Jacks was Diwali for him.
Yeah,
that
it was.
last over.
Yeah, I mean, off spinner bowling at him.
Yeah.
Certainly Hardik would be thinking, okay, he has my 4 sixes now, but didn't allow. Will Jacks, credit to him as well.
He's had a stunning tournament actually, Jacks.
He's
So
had,
we'll give him a
yeah.
mention.
Yeah.
Definitely World Cup team makes the 11, right?
Yeah.
Slot him at number 6 or whatever.
And he's shown how can he be that he can be a good 6 or 7 as well from
Yeah.
a top order player otherwise. I think we've covered pretty much all of them. Kishan's 39 of 18 at the fall of Abhishek Sharma's wicket, which remains perhaps the one unchecked box in what now looks like a firing India. But Kishan at number 3-2, just carrying on from
Yeah,
Abhishek.
he's carried the momentum.
Every batter tonight did their
Yeah.
job exceedingly. Your job on a wicket like that is to make sure you don't get 20 of 20. And every batter was brilliant. The way they came in and just had intensity, trying to put the pressure on the bowlers.
Yeah, I think we'll leave Abhishek Sharma now because there's enough time to discuss him for one more game. Who knows? Maybe it will be in the final. Varun Chakravarti, Abhishek Sharma will give the two things. You can't get everything right, but India did most things right today. Do you feel like the single biggest turning point here? Would it be Bumrah's over at the end? Would it be Brooks' drop catch of Samson? There was also an interesting moment where Banton dropped Hardik just after Dube's run out.
Yeah, you're
Over
right.
there, if
Forgot
there
about
was
that.
another double strike, you have Varun, Arshdeep and Bumrah coming in for the last 10
That's
balls.
a great
Yeah.
point because we're talking about that score 250 just being out of reach in terms of it's just like it's a big score. If you're chasing 220 there, 230, it becomes a pass score. And then the Bumrah 4 overs is not as important as it is in a 250 game.
Yeah, those were moments because
It catches.
catches. And India caught everything effectively that came their way.
Yeah.
If you have to pick a single point of difference, Samson's drop.
Well, the fact that
Bumrah's
India
overs.
won, I would say Bumrah, but the single most biggest moment, I would say the drop catch of Sanju.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. And if you have to pick a player of the match, I can tell you Sanju Samson's officially player of the match, but I felt like Bethell and Samson cancel each other out.
I agree.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you would have gone for Bumrah.
Bumrah or Hardik? one of those
Hardik,
two.
yeah.
All right, well, one of those things, but it could have gone either way. Surya Kumar Yadav, mighty relieved, I would sense, and very proud of his team, says this after the semi-final win. Unbelievable feeling, playing in India, leading an unbelievable side. Samson knew what he knew right when he went in. Team required it from him, it was due. I told Harry, how much more do we need to score against them? They were always in the chase. But the way the bowlers pulled the game away was unbelievable. You know how capable Bumrah is. We need to give credit to T. Dilip, our fielding coach. Boys are responding well. Guys have been going the extra yard. That's showing up. Till number 3, all is settled. As soon as we saw Rashid, Dube was the perfect matchup. Was very nervous. Heart rate would have been 160, 175. I'll come to that in a second. The moment we entered, It was already 80% full. That's the 1K, I guess. Hope we gave the crowd a good game. Going for the title in India, there will be pressure, but the players and support staff will be excited. Yes, there was some nerves, wasn't there? With the odd boundary with Karan and Bethell's partnership, it turned to Surya, and otherwise he's relatively calm. But you could see the stakes involved now. This is big for an Indian captain.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, it better be. So it is that way. I mean, especially when you're defending 253 and then you're thinking, oh God, what's this?
Yeah.
You know, it seems like the game is slipping away. It's not a good sign.
Yeah. And once again, but his tactics were on point.
Yeah,
he missed a few himself. You can understand the 170 heart rate.
Yeah.
There were a few that went through Surya Kumar Yadav.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he was perfect with the usage of his bowlers, especially towards the end, because Bumrah had to bowl those 2 overs back to back.
All right. Well, that is a wonderful, wonderful game of cricket. I think it's fair to say. And now India versus New Zealand as the final in Ahmedabad. I think there are a lot of questions, comments, more celebration. I'll just see if I can take a couple because we're almost out of time. There are some of you calling for some drops, changes. Varun Chakravarti, Abhishek Sharma, I won't even bother.
No.
Something or the other. But yeah, this is always there. Should we avoid Shivam Dube in the last over? Let's just give it to Axar. You can feel for Shivam Dube, nothing to lose over there.
Yeah.
But he bowls the odd wide and you still worry about India's 6th bowler. Shouldn't be too hard on him tonight.
No. Game was done.
All right. Yeah, I think a lot of the comments are themed around England's fielding that might very well have cost them place in the final. And how about considering 2 spinners in Ahmedabad with what South Africa did last time? And I think the Pacers bowling pace off
Paces.
worked.
Yeah.
You don't see
Paces.
any major changes,
No.
do you, for the
No,
final?
just
Unlikely.
places, yeah.
All right. Well, there's a lot of comments, but I think it's all just a lot of celebration. So Pandya and Bumrah, a lot of credit to them as well. And this is where we say thank you very much, I think, because that's a terrific game of cricket. Thank you to Anill Kumble
Thank you.
and to Plessis. The 2 of you will be back for the final.
Nice.
Yes.
We have a couple of days off now, and I think we'll have a special guest joining us. We've got to represent New Zealand as well. Till things are locked, why don't I keep that in suspense?
Secret.
India v New Zealand. Now that New Zealand have downed South Africa, I wonder where your allegiances lie for the final.
Yeah, I'd India, South Africa. So because South Africa is not there, then India.
India. Good man. All right. Mr. Kumble? Just thought I'd ask.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, gentlemen. That is a fabulous, fabulous game of cricket with Plessis and with one great Anill that we have. But I must tell you that there's another great Anill that is also present in India. There's a reason I'm setting this up, right? We've got AK over here in Anill Kumble, and now there is a special something coming your way on Prime Video that of course features the other AK, which is Anil Kapoor. So for all you Bollywood buffs, it's time for you to get a glimpse of Subedar, which will be out very shortly on Prime Video. Have a look at that as we say goodnight and sign off from the semi-final, and look forward to your company for the final on ESPN Cricket for Timeout, powered by Gania Men.
हमारा नाम सुबेदार अर्जुन मौर्य है, रिटायर्ड, और ये है हमारी दुनिया।
रोज छिड़कने, बिग एंजॉय।
फौजी हैं, सीने में गोली झेल सकते हैं, बेइज्जती नहीं।
New Ganya Men Acno Fight Gentle Cleanser. ये है gentle on skin, tough on pimple.